this is the first cave that I came across that I noticed something odd. I saw the cave and I thought, well, that's intriguing. And then I see this stick right here. This stick is a tree. And this tree goes straight up and it's snapped. There's like this is probably about 3 feet maybe in height, going from down here and up. And it's right in front of this cave. Now at first I thought, well, it's probably nothing. And then I kind of started looking at it. Now I can't see in it. I can see part of it, what's in here. So here's a boulder right here, and it goes across. Now there's something blocking that. So there's something dark right here, and there's something really dark right here. So something's making these areas really dark. But I can see a lighter shade. So this whole thing over here is a lighter shade of something. Actually, it's light here, it's light here, going up and across. This whole space in here is lighter. So there's like a boulder here. There looks like there's something dark right here, something dark right here, and the rest of this is dark. Now it could be that it goes back in and goes around this boulder thing here, which is probably possible. But I found that kind of intriguing, and I kind of cleaned up one to see if there was really anything in there, and I can't really clean up really past what's going on here. So I started to look around and see if there's another one of these, and I did find another one. So that cave is right here. So I'll zoom in on. This is that cave. This is that first cave. Okay, this one has a tree. You can't really see it because I'm zoomed all the way in and it's pixelated. But it's right here. There's a little, you can see the little tree or whatever. It's right. There we go. It finally set itself. So there's that stick, right? Or that tree that's sticking up that's broken. This is that cave. Well, over here, as I go across, that's right, it's up. Where did I miss it? Ah, oh, I missed it. Where did I miss it to? Where are you? There's the first one. Oh, the second one's right here. So here is this other cave that also has a tree next to it that's busted. So this one goes down. You can clearly see that it goes down into something. But there's a tree that's busted right next to it. Goes down like it goes, bloop, disappears inside there. I thought that was absolutely flippin' amazing. That here in one picture are two caves. One cave here, one cave up here. This one goes down inside like it's going down, and this one is right here, and it has some type of attributes where you can go into it, but I can't get a clean enough film or a shot of this. Now it almost looks like there's something sitting right here, which is kind of unusual, and it does, because it looks like it's overly darkened, and it looks like something is sitting there, but it may not be. It just could be a pareidolia at its best, that there's something there. Anytime you get into pixelization, it gets kind of iffy, and you got to be very careful about what you're talking about, because if this is real, this would be cool. It'd be a cool find, but I would have to go back and try to find this location and refilm this entrance, and it's just to see what this thing is, because this thing is technically, it's standing out in front of these rocks, which is, I didn't notice that before. I noticed this. I didn't notice this thing before, and I knew that this was here. That's intriguing, actually. Even still, you can still see this thing. It's just kind of sitting there. What the heck? Now it looks like there's something here. I don't know. I don't know what the heck this is. But it looks like there's something inside that mouth of that cave, and something sitting on the outside of that cave. Well, that would be a cool find if I could zoom in and make that clean, but I can't. But it's just as equal that there is this thing over here. Now Mike and I tried to get onto this side of the hill, but we couldn't do it. There was it all drops down and goes straight down into the river. I don't know how you cross this to get onto this side, because we wanted to climb over this and walk right down and see what was inside this cave, and at the same time go all the way up and climb up here and see what was inside this cave. Now, it could be these are just mines, that someone dug them out, because there are millions of mines in Colorado. And this could very well be one of those mines. But it was neat to see that here's a stick that's busted right in front of a mine. And I didn't notice this at first, and this is the first time I just spotted this, but if this is a tree and this is a tree, it's nothing. If these trees are laying down, it's something, because that tells me that there's something here. There's something that needs to be looked at. But if these are just trees sticking up, then I'd say it's nothing. And until I can get back and try to find this location again, I may just have to leave it as is, because I don't know where this was. I don't remember this location, like how to get there. I remember the whole event, but I don't remember how to physically get there. There's a better picture of that one thing. Now, that object isn't there no more. If this is that same... Wait a second here. Let's go back and look at that. The stick is on... Is that this side? Stick is on the left. Stick is... Oh, there's another cave right there. Oh, that's interesting. Looks like there's something inside there, and I can't zoom in on that either. Stick is on the right. Okay, so let's see where that thing was. Stick is on the left. So this is the lower cave. So the lower cave looks like there's nothing there now. Let's go back. I see the rock. I see the stick. It looks like whatever this is sitting in front of that cave. Alright. Let's go back. I don't see that object in front of the cave. There is a dark mass, but I can see the rock here. This is rock. This is at L, but I don't see anything past that. Okay, so here's the rock, here's the L, here's the stick. Maybe that was just pareidolia. That it looks like there's something else here, but there wasn't. Maybe that's all it was, just an illusion. But still, the stick in the way is very intriguing. I'd like to know how far you can go back into this. And this is that part that looked like a tree is growing up in between the mountain piece. I was hoping to see something walk by that, but that never happened. It also dips down in here too, like a little bowl. It'd be neat to climb up and over that and to look over to the other side, see what's going on. In the distance, this is the road that bends around, swoops by our campsite. There's a house way up on the mountain way over here. The road eventually goes up and over this direction. Cannot tell you at all where this was located. That looks like Mike's truck. In fact, that may have been Mike. He may have left for a little bit to go get supplies and stuff. Just surrounded by all kinds of forest. This looked like a bunch of, almost looked like a nest to me back in here. I'm not sure what that thing is. Looks like a dried out tree. But looks like there was some type of nesting going on. And it could have easily have been a pack rat. Saw more snow. There's snow packets like up here, pockets. Snow there. Another cave like thing I wanted to take a peek into. All these were pretty far away from me. This was down for me though. There's a house way up on the mountain, way away from us. It's actually on this mountain right here is where that house is. That's the house. It'll take a minute for the computer to catch up. Try to clean up the image. Or not. That's lichen. Lichen's a type of moss that grows on rocks. This cave, there is a boulder right here. I thought it was a tree stump, but it's actually a boulder. And I do believe there's a bear in this cave. And I'll show you why in a second. So I started to kind of zoom in on this guy a little bit. You can't really see it in this photograph. Well, you can. Yeah, you can. You can kind of see it. So the nose or the snout is right here. You have one eye here. You have another eye right here. You have the head shape of a bear. A little bit of an ear. There's another ear over here. And it just reads bear. And I'm like, oh my God. And I'm sure he was probably listening to me and smelling my scent from far away. This is that cave in question. But his head would be right about in here. The cave in general is actually, where are we at? It's right here. So that cave is right here. Zoomed out, it's over here. It's like right up in there. This was bark from a tree that I found kind of intriguing to look at. That's Mike's tent and his truck. Now these were bones that I had found. Mountain lions do this. There was one bone over here to my left, right here, by the side of this rock. And then there was a spine and a couple other bones. I don't recall if mountain lions pull the cartilage out of bones. Sasquatch does, but I'm not sure about mountain lions. And I thought that this was kind of creepy because we were camped not too far away. But I also found it interesting to find the stuff there as well. This bone was tucked under this rock, and this rock was shoved back in there. I didn't know a mountain lion did that. Now I know they'll rip up and basically take whatever they kill and tear it apart and put it into 3 piles or 4 piles. And then they come back and feed on it later. This is a small animal. I think it was like a young doe that it had caught. This is a footprint. You can see the toes. There are toes on this one too. So I thought that was kind of almost like a double footprint, like something was standing in place and then standing in place as well. I mean, that one foot is taller or bigger than the other. I think this is the heel of one. These look like toes. And it kind of swings around and goes back to the footprint. I actually found these rocks stacked, and I thought that was kind of bizarre, because I certainly didn't do that. When I picked up all three bones had no cartilage in them. This is a footprint again. This is weirdly long. I should have been standing the other direction because I'm pretty sure that the hill is over here and it goes up and it goes back around. That's my foot in comparison. It was a pretty big print, but it wasn't a great print. It was just enough that you could tell that something had walked there. Another print in the needles. Mike's tent. Trenton was pretty sure that he heard the vocal up here, and he ended up being up on this rock. This is Mike and Trenton. Trenton was always eating on stuff. So this is the camp stove that's right here. Mike's tent was right here. We were packing up and leaving. These are the tent posts. Extra lumber, water, all the other doodad stuff that we had. And then we ended up packing up and driving out. Trenton. Mike and Trenton. Trenton ends up going all the way up onto these rocks up here, but they were saying that they were king of the mountain, and I thought that was pretty funny. And then Trenton went way up there, and that's kind of high as he was going. And then it was like he was trying to make some sounds, or it was something he had found up there. I'm not sure what it was anymore. This shot actually, I took the camera and I did like kind of like a landscape photo, or I can't think what the photograph is called, but I started at one spot and I filmed all the way up over my head and back down, and that's why you get a tree here and you get trees here. Same with that shot. Now we saw these deer and they were just relaxing as we were driving out. We see this herd of deer and Mike pulls over and he says, "I'm going to do a vocal." And we said, okay. So Mike starts doing this vocal, and out of nowhere they all start to listen, and they all start to listen again. Every single one of them are getting up because Mike is doing this vocalization, this raw type of sound, and every deer pretty much quit what they were doing and all started to take notice to us, or at least to Mike anyway. They kept looking at us. Now they're almost all standing up. There's one still sitting down. And now they're still, I think this guy, I don't know why he's not getting up. Well, this one's paying attention. The rest of them are all looking at us. They're all on their feet. And he kept doing it. Now this guy looked a little odd. He looked like he was just a little bit shaggy in a weird way. I hope he didn't have mange or anything. But they all started to run towards this fence. Like this guy right here, he leaped it without a problem. These fences, I do believe, were about 5.5 to 6 feet in height, and they leaped them like they were nothing. All of the deer just jumped the fence and started climbing up the mountain opposite of us. We couldn't believe how fast they moved. Like they knew that there was a threat out here where we were at. And they got away from the calm areas to be up in the mountains. This is a view of the mountains in the background. I cannot tell you what mountains those are, because I actually don't know. But to own this land, I would love to own this land. More views of the mountains. One hell of a mountain range from one end to the other. There were people up on this rock. People here, over here, and down. And this rock is actually over by, in between, I want to say Castle Rock and Palmer Lake. I think that's where this rock sits. It's very unusual to see it. And in fact, I couldn't remember seeing people climbing on it either. I'd never seen people doing that. So the video that you just saw was the end of that trip. A month or two later, Mike invites me up with Trenton, his son, and we go camping at a spot here in Colorado. And what you're going to see is a 30-minute video. You get to see something pretty darn cool. And I'm going to leave it at that. Keep the suspense up. My name is Patrick. This is Sasquatch in the Wild, and I hope you enjoyed the journey. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.